Welcome to Deep Cyber's weekly cybersecurity briefing. Here's what has unfolded over the past week. This week, every story points to the same uncomfortable truth. The systems we trust most are the ones being turned against us. From AI sandboxes to brake controllers, trust has become the attack surface. At Black Hat USA 2026, a security researcher did something that should unsettle every business using AI tools. They took control of ChatGPT's secure sandbox from the inside. A sandbox is the digital equivalent of a quarantine room. It is designed to keep whatever happens inside an AI session from bleeding out into the real world. The researcher built an attack chain, a series of linked exploit steps that broke through those containment walls during a live session. For businesses, this matters because AI companies sell the sandbox as their primary safety guarantee. If that guarantee can be broken, an attacker could manipulate outputs, extract sensitive data, or use a trusted AI tool as a launchpad for further compromise. The question to ask your team this week is simple. Do we actually know what our AI tools can access? That question becomes even more urgent when you consider what criminal networks are already doing with the same technology. Global crime syndicates have transformed fraud into an industrial operation, powered entirely by AI. Voice cloning lets attackers perfectly mimic a family member or a C-suite executive on a live phone call. Deepfake video enables real-time impersonation on video calls. Large language models manage entire fake personas across weeks-long scams. Automated translation removes every language barrier between a criminal and their next victim. The result is that the traditional warning signs people relied on, an unfamiliar accent, an odd phrasing, an unexpected request, are now nearly useless. Billions of dollars are being lost annually to schemes that look and sound completely real. The most effective defense available right now is remarkably low-tech. Establish a secret code word with the people you trust most, and use it before you transfer money or share anything sensitive. And if AI can be weaponized through a phone call, consider what happens when it is reading the web on your behalf. Security researchers have identified a technique called PleaseFix that targets AI-powered browsers, the next generation of web tools that use AI agents to browse, summarize, and act online for users. The attack exploits prompt injection, where hidden instructions are buried inside ordinary web content, like articles or advertisements. When the AI agent reads that content as part of its normal job, it unknowingly follows the attacker's commands instead of yours. No click required. No warning, no visible sign that anything has gone wrong. Once hijacked, the agent can steal information, submit forms, and interact with other services entirely without your knowledge. What makes this especially difficult is that there is no clean technical fix. The problem runs deep into how AI language models process instructions. Before allowing AI agents to act autonomously on behalf of your business, understand exactly what permissions you are handing over. The challenge of staying ahead of attackers is not limited to technology. It is also a structural problem at the level of law enforcement itself. Organized cybercriminal networks have deliberately built their operations to exploit borders. When an attack crosses 3 countries, it can require 3 separate law enforcement agencies to align on legal procedures, a process that can take months or years. Criminal groups, by contrast, can pivot, rebrand, and relaunch within days. High-profile takedowns do happen. Ransomware groups get disrupted. Dark web markets get seized. But those victories are often temporary. Criminal networks reconstitute quickly, having learned from each disruption. Cybercrime is inherently global. Policing remains largely national. Until that structural gap closes, the cycle of attack, disruption, and rapid criminal recovery will continue. For businesses, this means you cannot outsource your defense entirely to law enforcement. Assume the threat is persistent and plan accordingly. The theme of hidden risk surfaced in an unexpected place this week, not in software, but on the highway. A safety recall issued for the Bendix EC-80, a brake controller used in heavy commercial trucks, quietly fixed two significant cybersecurity vulnerabilities at the same time. Researchers from the National Motor Freight Traffic Association uncovered that the public recall notice said nothing about the security flaws. The first was a remote code execution vulnerability, meaning an attacker could potentially send instructions to a braking system over a network connection without ever touching the vehicle. The second was a denial of service flaw that could cause the controller to stop functioning entirely. Patching these quietly, without public disclosure, left fleet operators, regulators, and the public unaware of what their vehicles were actually exposed to. As commercial vehicles become more connected and software dependent, this case asks a hard question of every industry that manufactures safety critical hardware. When you patch a security flaw, who has the right to know? Not every story this week was about breach or deception. Some risk is embedded in adoption itself. OpenAI announced a significant upgrade to its ChatGPT platform, giving paid users access to the more capable GPT-5.6 Sol model, while simultaneously removing conversation limits for free users through a version called GPT-5.6 Luna. The strategic logic is clear: lower the barrier, grow the user base, lock in the habit. For everyday users, more powerful AI is now available at no cost. For businesses, this means more employees are likely to start using advanced AI tools in their daily workflows, with or without formal approval from their organization. The practical takeaway is this: if your business does not have a clear policy on which AI tools employees can use and what data they can share with them, now is the time to write one. And then there is the threat that never truly went away. After a quieter second quarter, ransomware surged back in July with force. Finance, technology, and healthcare were hit hardest. According to research from Comparitech, these sectors are targeted precisely because they cannot afford downtime. Attackers know that pressure speeds up payment decisions. The earlier lull now looks less like a retreat and more like a pause, a period of reorganization before a more aggressive campaign. For people outside the industry, the consequences are direct. Ransomware hitting a hospital can delay medical care. A compromised technology vendor can ripple across dozens of client businesses overnight. If your organization has not recently tested its backups, reviewed its incident response plan, or trained staff on recognizing suspicious activity, July was a reminder of what that gap can cost. This week's stories span AI research labs, criminal networks, courtrooms, highways, and hospital systems. But they all circle back to the same insight. We are extending trust faster than we are verifying it. Trust in AI containment. Trust in voices we hear. Trust in recall notices that tell only part of the story. Trust in tools we adopt before we fully understand them. The attackers, whether human or algorithmically assisted, are not creating new vulnerabilities from scratch. They are finding the gaps between what we assume is safe and what actually is. Closing that gap starts with one habit: question the things you trust most. Before you go, if this briefing gave you useful insight this week, follow Deep Cyber wherever you're listening. A rating or comment helps the right people discover the show. That's all for this week. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll be back next week with more cybersecurity updates.